Hello Cancer, welcome back. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for joining me. If you're brand new to the channel, thank you for coming. Please don't forget to like and share, or like and subscribe. This is a general reading, so aspects of it may apply to you, but it could also be reflected in somebody else's life, somebody that's close to you or that you're interacting with at this time. I have shuffled and already laid out the cards. I work with the 12 houses of the zodiac, so as the cards are coming out in each house, then those are the influences coming to bear for you. Bottom of the deck is Pisces, I believe. So a kind of an overall aspect which may be coming in for you, kind of the two sort of fairly different sides to this. With Pisces, I believe it is pretty much a connection with the divine, so you may just be needing to surrender to what is unfolding for you at this time, or to surrender to what it is you need to do, okay? Because fighting things over a long period of time, changes you need to make or things you need to do, fighting that, resisting that can absolutely exhaust you. So it may just be time to surrender now to what is in your best interest. But it's also about belief, it's about faith and your connection to the divine. So you could be really, really sensitive and feeling quite psychic at this point, tuning in to everything, being highly intuitive and so on. But it is also about maintaining your boundaries, because Pisces sometimes can blend to the point where they lose themselves. So maintain your boundaries, be careful with that. You may find that things are not entirely clear for you at this time. You could be seeing people in a different light than what is actually true. So always be clear about your actions and your thoughts. You could also be surrounded by people who are a bit of an energy drain at this time. There could be a victim consciousness around you, or you could be displaying that in some way or feeling that in your life in some way. So as I said, it's about belief, self-belief, as well as belief in the universe or whatever it is that you believe in, having faith in that and just surrendering to what it is that you need to do at this time. Then in the first house, we have solar eclipse revolution. So this is kind of the touch point for a great many changes which are coming in for you. And it could be that your 12th house, which is the house of your unconscious, is driving this or formulating this at the moment. Or it could just be you really having had enough and wanting to do things, or great changes coming upon you, and now you get the opportunity to make great changes. But the 12th house is all about contemplation at this time, and the first house is about your action, how you are projecting yourself in the world. And when you do this, when you go through a revolution like this in yourself, then that naturally is going to affect your 7th house, which is your house of relationships. It affects all parts of your life, but your relationships are highly impacted at this time. So with this card coming in for your first house, this is the house of self. So this is your appearance, how you come across to others, your first impressions to others. It's your personality, your observable characteristics. It's also your physical body, so your vitality, your life force, and so on. It's also very much how you perceive the world at this time, how you are moving through your life right now, what it is you're wanting to initiate, your personal independence, and so on. It's also what you are projecting to other people as well. So how you feel on the inside may not be necessarily what you are projecting, depending on your ascendant, but there comes a point in your life where you really have to be your authentic self, and I feel the time has come now. So with this card coming in, or even your self-oriented interests could be undergoing a revolution at this time. So I just feel that whatever it is, whatever situation you're in, or whatever it is that you're trying to do, either a massive change is going to come upon you, or you're going to suddenly feel you need to do something about it, and you're going to initiate the changes. But they're going to be very swift indeed. It's endings and beginnings with this card, all right? So it's a complete rearrangement or a turnaround of you in your world. You may have to just, as a result of something, fix or change something. So dive in head first to fix or change something, and when you do that, you're going to create better. But it could also be that you're in the driving seat now. You're absolutely driving forward to initiate something. when we're in control, it's always going to be, when I say control, when we're initiating and actually following our inner guidance to make changes, that's always going to be better than a sudden reaction to a massive event. Okay, so, it really it depends on your attitude and how you handle things at this time with this card, because with the new attitude, with the breaking of old patterns, with the new perception that you're going to get, you then, it's like a realization. So there will be an upheaval of some kind, but once you get past that, then you go into the field of self-mastery. So it really is your attitude, how you're going to tackle these changes that you need to make, or whatever it is that's coming up for you, whatever kind of upheaval or rearrangement is happening. It really is all about your attitude and your realization towards that. Or it could be that you're having a massive realization about something, and now you realize what it is you need to do, and it creates an upheaval of some kind. But on the other side of that is the potential for self-mastery. It's wisdom. It's having your emotions and your life under control in a way which is for your highest good. So working together hand in hand with the universe to actually move yourself into a better position. You could be having a complete external makeover even. You could be changing your appearance, or how just how you look, or how you project yourself. That could come as a result of changes. But whatever it is going to affect your 7th house, which is your house of relationships, especially if you're married or you're engaged or you're in some kind of close personal relationship, that will be happening. And your 12th house, which is your house of your unconscious. This is where 90% of us operate from. It's our hidden drives, our motivations, and what's going on under the surface. And that can very well be driving this. You could be in for some kind of relocation, whether this is a physical relocation, or you're just planning something. Perhaps it's a complete change of how you're going to be operating in the world, how you meet the world from now on. It really is that life changing. But you're going to be in the driving seat, and you have the opportunity to be in the driving seat, and it's really all about your attitude at this time. Following on from that, we have the 2nd house, which is the house of your income, how that's coming in for you at this time. But also, it's going to be about your self-worth, which is intimately connected to how you're projecting yourself. Okay, your self-worth. It's also about your value systems, what you value in yourself, what you value in others, and in your possessions, your ownership. So all of that is getting a very, very thorough overhaul at this time. You've got a really, really massive opportunity now to literally cast off all the things and situations and experiences and circumstances which they're not helping you anymore. They're not working for you anymore. They may have worked a few years ago and been great, but it's not appropriate now. You literally are changing how you are, so therefore your circumstances and what is going on in your life needs to change as well. So it really is a complete step up for you, but in order to do that, you have to let go of a great many things. So let go of the past, drop your baggage, and so on. So, when it comes to your ownership, as I said, you could be undergoing some kind of relocation. Perhaps you're changing all your big possessions. It could be land, housing, real estate, any kind of possessions that you have, cars even, whatever it is. It could be that massive, or it could just be simply that you are wanting to now change something up that is existing, that needs to be changed up, upgraded in some way. Or it could literally just be your self-worth is now getting a massive overhaul. You're letting go of a whole lot of things, and now the door forward will swing open once you've done that. It will only swing open once you've done that, okay? So the South Node, Life's Debts, is all about that. Endings, doors closing. Some of them might be quite abrupt, but it's all about becoming who you really are. So you need to drop baggage at this time. Anything that is not moving you into a better future. So this is very much a turning point for you. It's an epiphany, swift changes coming in with this card, new direction or path, okay? But you must release the old and familiar, or they will just simply fall away. And then you're going to be through this period of feeling out of your comfort zone, out of your rut. You've got to, you will feel a bit uncomfortable until you get the hang of things and you can move forward again. Anything unfinished or unresolved in your life will now need to be dealt with. So really this card sounds ominous, but it really is a fantastic opportunity to divest yourself of all the things that are just not working for you anymore. So take full advantage of the opportunities which come with change. All right, and there are always lots of opportunities that come with change. So take full advantage, sum it up, and make your move. This is also going to go hand in hand with your 8th house. Your 8th house is the opposite of the second. It does involve big finance. It also does involve deeper commitments with other people around you. Could be business or love partnership. It's about sexuality, endings and beginnings, lots of things going on. But you've got a very, very positive card coming in there for you, which I will get to in the 8th house. But these two are going hand in hand. So when you let go of all this other stuff, then you allow space to bring in the new things, which are then going to bring you much better. So it's a kind of working hand in hand situation, but really very much an opportunity for you now. And this is going to be driven by what is going on in your 1st house. Then a lovely card in your 3rd house. 3rd house is everything to do with communication. So all forms of communication, whether it's written, verbal, body language, it can be to anybody really around you. It could be business related, or it could be within your circle, or just in your daily life. But it can also be to a wider audience. It can also be to specific people in your life. And this is general relatives, aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, and cousins even. But it can also be for neighbors, interaction with neighbors. Anything in your neighborhood or your environment comes up with the 3rd house. The 3rd house also rules short trips. So this is not long overseas journeys. It can be international depending on where you live, but it's a shorter trip. Okay, so it's a quicker journey, local trips, so on. You could be going on an unexpected trip of some kind. But the 3rd house also rules documents and contracts. So if you're making big changes, relocating, or whatever it is that you're initiating at this time, you could be receiving a really positive outcome to documents or contracts that you're busy with right now, because Jupiter return is about that. It does grant, it's the yes card, it does grant benefits to you, rewards, and so on. So with this card coming in to your 3rd house, as I said, contracts and documents I feel are going to be highlighted at this time. It could also be that you're going to receive a wonderful message or news, really good news about something. Because it's a return card, Jupiter does a revolution around the chart about once every 12 years. So it could be appropriate for you that something from the past, it could be as far back as 12 years ago, or maybe 10 or earlier, something from the past which you perhaps wanted or tried to do, or was a possibility for you, a plan or something, may come back now with benefits. So it may bear fruit. So something, it could have just been an idea, or something you wanted to do, or places you wanted to go. Just something may come back and bring benefits for you now. It could even be a person coming back into your life as well. So something connected with that could bear fruit at this time. But otherwise, it's a very positive card. This it's about joy. It's about happiness. It can also be about relief, and it can be about rescue as well. Also strength. So you may have been grappling with something over a long period of time, which has reached a crescendo, and now you obtain the relief or the rescue or the strength to deal with it, But it's communication based, all right? So something or someone could be coming back, bearing gifts or fruits or some kind of benefit for you. But this card is also about gifts and rewards and opportunity or opportunities. These opportunities that come up for you will be fast moving. They will be quick. So they're not going to be around for very long. So whatever comes up, seize the moment, seize the day, go after it, try them all, and follow them and see where they go. Because not all of them will bear something for you, but there may be one or two there which are going to lead you where you need to be. So opportunities, you could have local travel, as I said, or be going on a local trip, or a trip could come to you, could even win something. It's got that kind of benefit for you. But it could also be that you are communicating with specific people at this time. But as I said, it's a happy card usually. There's a sort of a contentment and a harmony, or even a completion. Because it's gone round, it's a return. It could indicate completion of some kind as well. Then in the 4th house, which is your house of house and family, so it's your actual home. This can be your physical home or where you're currently residing. or it could be the atmosphere in the home, the people in your home. It can also be your relationship with your family. So your roots, your foundation, your ancestry, your ethnic identity, where you've come from. So all of that. Some people have a very troubled relationship with that whole situation. Others have a very good one. Some don't know anything about it. It really depends on each individual, but the fourth house covers all of that. So so Mercury Mind, it's a thinking card. It's a mental card coming in for you. So it seems to me that if you are facing relocation or some kind of change going on, you're going to be weighing things up at this time. So this is using your reasoning faculties, your intellect. Words, figures are going to be required. Calculation, analyzing things, looking at things. They're going to be, so there could even be debates, arguments, or just discussion or research around what needs to be done in one of these two areas. So house or family. So there could be issues around that, how to move forward, what you're going to do, how you're going to weigh it up, and so on. Siblings may be involved here as well, but it's all communication based with Mercury. You could be hearing something or receiving a good message as well, because Mercury is the messenger of the gods. But it also can cover technology. So you could be having upgrades in your home environment of some kind. It could be that. It could be you thinking about what it is you need to do to improve something. It's also about humor, wit, quick thinking, thinking on your feet. That is the energy of Mercury. Exchange of ideas, expression, and so on. It's also very much about learning and early education. So for some people, you may be wanting to have a play school at home or be dealing with young children. There's various ways that this can come from your home environment. It could also be that you have a lot of friends over, or a lot of friends giving you support at this time, or you're just engaging a lot with friends. But you could also be required to be quite flexible at this time. Mercury is very adaptable and flexible, all right? As I said, you could be hearing news, or you could be hearing gossip as well, or there could be scandal of some kind that is touching you in some way. But there's talking, there's discussion, there's, reasoning and weighing things up at this time. Then in the fifth house, we have Chiron healing. Fifth house is the house of children, whether they're your children or other children you're associated with right now. It's also everything to do with children. So this can be the conception of children and so on. It's also the house of your creativity, or anybody's creativity that falls in the fifth house. So it could be your children as well. So creativity we use every day, every minute, in every way. We all have creativity. It's not necessarily artistic ability, but that can come in with together with the creativity. So it's really your self-expression, your originality, your individuality, your brand, your brand, because we all have our ways and means, and we need to really express that as uniquely as possible. And whatever is uniquely you falls into the fifth house. It's also the house of love affairs and everything going on around that. It's also the house of all forms of recreational and pleasurable activities, fun activities, all forms of recreational activities. So this could be sports, or it could be clubs, anything where you are enjoying, enjoying activities of all kinds, whether it's indoors, outdoors, whatever. It's also the house of risk-taking in some way, and risk-taking activities, which is like gambling, or following the stock market, stock exchange, and so on, activities around that. So now with Chiron healing coming in, what this is saying is that in this house somewhere, you may have repetitive issues coming up. So this could be a dysfunction, or an old wound, or an upset, or some kind of circumstance which was painful for you or was upsetting, and it's coming back again. So it could be repetitive from a long period over your life, or it could be something fairly recent, but it's coming up. It hasn't really been resolved, all right? So repetitive issues, that tends to come up with this card. So basically you're being asked to resolve this at this time. So now, how to deal with this is whatever that issue or wounding or dysfunction or circumstance that has come back or is coming back repeatedly, when it comes back like that, it means it's not been resolved. So that means you have to pull it from the dark, wherever it's been hiding. You have to pull it out of there. You have to really examine it very thoroughly, deal with it openly and honestly, and get to, really acknowledge the purpose that that whole situation has had in your life. So how it has created you exactly as you are right now, or it could be to do with your children, as I said. So something is coming up, and it's showing you that, yes, I am part of your life. Yes, I do deserve your attention and your notice, and I do have a purpose in your life. So it's up to you to discern what that purpose is. What has been the purpose of that situation in your life? And then once you accept it and fully accept it, then you can make a lot of progress. You can start forgiving the situation. You don't have to forgive the others, but you can forgive the situation and stop giving it energy, because you've dealt with it now. You've acknowledged it, you've accepted it, and then you can move forward. You can gain healing from that and move forward and then let it go. And it probably won't repeat again. But you've got to examine it. You've really got to pull it in the light. You've got to be brutally honest with yourself and actually acknowledge that it has a function. So that's what the Chiron card is all about. It could also be that there is teaching and learning around this. So you could be helping others with the same thing. Whatever you've been through, you could be helping others, or you could be showing your children, yes, this happened to me. This is how I dealt with it, and so on. It could also be a physical wounding. If you're a sports person, it could be a physical wounding. Whatever it is, whatever the thing is that's gone on in this house, you could be getting relief medicinal, but you can also be getting relief from natural health therapies and remedies. It's very big with this card. Everything nature related comes in with this card. So it could just be that you're going to be gaining healing and happiness through nature, whether you're spending time in nature or you're studying natural remedies, natural health, things that are holistically minded, that work with the body. All right, everything to do with that, whether you're teaching it, learning it, or you're just doing it for your own purposes, or you've decided you're going to embark on a natural therapy to bring relief from whatever it is. If you are learning and teaching in this field, you could be publishing about it as well, but you could also be sharing your experiences with others, therefore you help them. So it's all things alternative health, whether it's chiropractic, homeopathy, naturopathy, whatever it is. But it could also be medicinal in nature. You could have a little unexpected visit, a sort of accident of some kind as well, which leads you to that. But nature is very strong with this card. It's working with nature to heal from within, and therefore you can move forward. Then in the 6th house, we have Saturn return age, another return card coming in for you. This is falling in the house, the 6th house, which is the house of work, workplace, work colleagues, work routines, everything to do with that. It's also mastery of your craft, whatever your craft is, what you specialize in. It's also the house of health and diet and lifestyle. And it can be the house of pets as well. So with Saturn return age, this is everything to do with the passing of time, the wisdom of time, hindsight, learning from the past revisiting, and so on, and overcoming that and applying your wisdom that you've gained. Because where you were last year and where you are this year, or where you were 10 years ago and where you are this year, whatever has occurred in the meantime, you have gained wisdom. You have gained insight. So it really is also a card of what should I have done? All right. If you're looking back, what should I have done? What was I meant to do? Is it too late? All these feelings can come up with the Saturn return card, because it's a return. All right. So this could be normally with a return, it affects you at the age of 29 and again at about 58. But you do get reminders during those periods as well. But whatever phase of life you're in, it's got that energy about it. It's kind of looking at the past or looking at what has occurred in your life and seeing very clearly, very realistically, what has worked for you and what hasn't. So you could experience a loss of some kind, and then through that you realize that, okay, I need to redirect my energy. So there's a correction of some kind that occurs with this card. Correction of where you're headed, or where you have been, and where you need to go. So you need to release and redirect. And it could be forced upon you with this card. Anything that wasn't solid or wasn't based on anything solid or a really firm foundation, anything that was a bit shaky or wobbly will literally crumble under the rays of Saturn, and you'll have to start again. So it's got that energy of it, but it's a release, a redirect. And what Saturn is always trying to bring you is harmony in achievement. But you can only get to your achievement if you put the work in and you lay proper foundations. All right. So that is the whole energy of Saturn. It's got a lot of karmic energy about it. It's got a time element. Things take time. It's got a slow moving energy. You have to have patience with this card. But through all of this, it's the rising of your authentic self. So when you do this contemplation, what should I have done? What was I meant to do? And so on. Or is it too late? You start to then open the doors to let your authentic self out. Then you can release and redirect, because there's liberation, there's freedom in that. Because as soon as you address and look honestly at what it is you should have done or what you were meant to do, then you can now, this is a wonderful opportunity to now take steps in the direction which you want. And there's a freedom and a liberation in that. And that acts as a catalyst, okay? So liberation, clarity, looking back in order to move forward. So hindsight. It's also about mastering your goals at this time, and they may be changing, and certainly they will be changing. When it comes to health, diet, and lifestyle, this could all be to do with your health and your diet and your lifestyle. Perhaps you're changing things so dramatically now, but it's got the same energy about it. You apply all those same principles in that area. It's all about taking good care of your body, because Saturn rules the hard and the strong parts of your body, what holds you up. So your bones, your teeth, your ligaments, your tendons, your skeletal structure, all of that is hugely important. Without that, you would be a blob, basically. So everything that holds you in firmly in your body and allows you to move the way you do is governed by Saturn. So, you really need to look at your bone, your bones and your skeletal structure, and this is where the chiropractic comes in. It's also about making sure your vitamin D levels are correct, your calcium and magnesium levels are balanced 2-to-1, and that you're taking supplements or whatever it is that you need to do to build your body up, to make it strong. So that you don't allow decay of this, because once your frame is gone, then you kind of really are in trouble. So it's addressing all of that. If you've got teeth issues, deal with them, and so on. So it's about all of that and looking after the strong parts of your body so that you can move forward confidently and be able to tackle all the things that you need to do. In the 7th house, we have Uranus genius coming in. This is falling in your 7th house, which is the house of relationships, close personal one-on-one. So this can be a committed relationship like a marriage or an engagement or a deeply committed partner. It can also be a business partner or any other close personal relationship at this time. As I said, with the 1st house going through massive changes, it's going to affect your 7th house. So because this is who you are. Your authentic self now is starting to appear. And this is going to cause a bit of a jolt or a surprise. Uranus is very quick, sudden. It causes a jolt or a real shake-up. It's about awakening. It's about realization. So however that applies for you in this house, you could just be having an absolute realization about your significant other in your life. Perhaps you're really seeing things now very differently. Or you could be having somebody come into your life who's going to really change things for you. Or you could be changing things to such a degree that it's creating changes in how you relate to this other person, or in your business partnership. So this is about, as I said, an awakening, a realization. It can also bring liberation of some kind. So whether you are leaving a relationship or you're relieving you're leaving the way the relationship used to operate. Perhaps you're changing things up now and you're moving forward in a different way and you're reformulating everything, but it's going to be swift. And this is all about changes that cannot be resisted anymore. All right, you cannot hold the dam back anymore. So unexpected, swift, unpredictable changes as well. So there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, unexpected things. There's going to be discovery going on with this card. It could even bring an alternative lifestyle, which was highlighted by your sixth house. You could be contemplating a complete change of life, complete change of lifestyle, and therefore everything changes around you as well. And that's all got to be reconfigured. So alternative lifestyle could be in for you. It could also be that you're dealing with foreign things, or you're relocating to foreign and now you have to deal with foreign things, or just different things. Or you could be having somebody in your life who is very different from you. Relocation could come in with this card. So, but it's about changing how you relate at this time. Your relationships and your close personal one-on-ones, how you're going about that, but it normally comes with a jolt or a surprise or an awakening of some kind. Okay, it's not a slow-moving energy. This will really be an epiphany or a sort of a real wake-up of some kind, or it could be a discovery. As I said, really depends on how you are operating in this house currently. Moving on from that into the 8th house. 8th house kind of carries on from the 7th, because this is the about sexuality. So whether it's yours or yours with with a partner of yours. It's also about death of all kinds. So this can be the falling away of something, or an ego death. It can sometimes be a literal death, but it's normally about something falling away to make way for the new. Or it could be regeneration or renewal of some kind. It's also about birth. So literal birth, but it can also be about a rebirth of things. So this is moving forward into something new. It's also the house of finance. And this is the merging of you with a committed partner. So this can be a love partnership, as in a relationship, or it could be with a business partner. And it's the nuts and bolts of that relationship. So it's the merging of your emotional and your material resources. How you're going to fit that together. And when it comes to big finance, which can come into that, it's all about your taxes, your insurances, your investments, your accounting, your banking, all of those sorts of things, assets. It can even be inheritances and legacies if there is some sort of passing in your environment, and it's everything to do with that. So it can also be about handling other people's money, other people's resources. So with part of fortune coming in, increase is indicated with this card. So see how this plays out for you in this house. But normally with a part of fortune, what it's indicating to you is that it's possible that there is some aspect here in this house that has not been harnessed. You haven't harnessed it properly. You perhaps have known about it, or it was there, but you haven't harnessed it. Okay, so look carefully at this house, what is going on. Some aspect hasn't been properly, you're not benefiting properly from it, and there's potential there. All right, it could also be that you have a rising up of your talents and your abilities, or some kind of, as I said, it's rising up of some aspect which is not being properly harnessed. It could even just be wisdom and knowledge coming to you at this time, or experience. All right, there's going to be a karmic trigger, which is indicated here already. There's going to be a karmic trigger which is going to set this off. This is going to set this in motion. And it's a good card. This is a card about learning, even teaching. But it could be the rising of something which then you can monetize for yourself. So whether it's a talent or an ability, or just some aspect of your investment that hasn't been working for you, and you're going to rearrange something there, and you can get better benefit from it. Okay. It is also, there's an opportunity for achievement in this house. So something can be better than it is. All right. But so increase comes in. You can increase this. Benefits will come in for you. So increase the benefits. If you have to learn more about how to harness this benefit, then that's what you must do. Okay. But it is also about your wisdom and your knowledge that you have gained in your life. Passing that knowledge on and that wisdom to others. And when you teach that to others, then you can monetize it. So then you can create courses or something around that to help others who are going through or have been through similar experiences to you. So it's about monetizing your experiences, but do it in an honorable way. This is linked to your second house, which I said before is about your income as well, and your self-worth and your value systems. So when you get rid of all the baggage that you've been carting around for a long time, things that you're just not working for you anymore, you need to let go now, things that have held you back. When you do that, then you open the doors for this card. Then you can allow new energy in, which will then reformulate. And from that, so like a karmic trigger, from that, then you can move forward and actually harness benefits for yourself. But it's your experiences that are going to help you with that, what you've learned in your life and how you are going to spread that around, or how you're going to use that wisdom and experience to actually reformulate perhaps your finances and so on. Then in the 9th house, we have Virgo, I analyze. So 9th house is the house of all things international, all things foreign, and it's the house of international travel. This is not local trips. This is it's normally long distance, long travel. Long distance travel comes in, but all things foreign as well. So you could be starting a business, import, export, and so on, or you could be dealing with people who are foreign in some way. It's also, it can be to do with teaching and publishing as well, or public relations, and that's covering a wider audience. It's also about adventure and exploration of all kinds. So whether this is physically an adventure for you or an exploration, and that's in conjunction with travel, or it could be purely in the mind or just armchair traveling. But it's gaining wisdom, it's expanding the mind. And this can also be done through study. So this is university level education, but it can also be adult education. It's also understanding or learning more about philosophy, religion, belief systems, and the law and the higher courts. Or it could be that you're involved in a legal situation at this time, a legal matter. It's also about relationship to in-laws that can come in on this house. But it really is about the search for meaning and wisdom, and also about intuition and seeking the truth. So your intuition could be heightened at this time. It may just be purely about that, and the rest may not apply to you right now. But it's a very expansive house, the 9th house. So with Virgo, I analyze, it's telling you that at this time, this is a detailed card. Virgos look at things in detail. So you need to pay attention right now. So weigh things up, analyze facts, figures, words, anything around that. It's a time to get organized, and it's a time to declutter. All right, so whether this is an emotional declutter, or it could be a physical declutter around you, or it could be decluttering that perhaps you have too many things going on in this 9th house, too many other things happening which are holding you back, or just depleting your energy. So it's about reorganizing things and making things work for you. But it's also about being reliable. Virgos are very reliable. Being reliable, being helpful and constructive. That's really a very good aspect of Virgo, being constructive. So, you'll be called in to analyze situations and then give advice, but it's always going to be well received if it's helpful and constructive advice. The other side of Virgo is nitpicking, worrying too much, or criticism. Okay, so don't dish that out at this time unless it's really, really warranted, quite frankly. But it's really, like I said, constructive advice backed up with facts and figures and, and helpfulness. It also can sometimes bring in a martyr mindset. So just be careful that you or some other people around you are not falling under that. But it can be about also bringing systems to create better. You could be going into business. It's also very much about health and diet and lifestyle as well. That comes in under the Virgo energy. So that may be an interest for you, or you may be using that in some way, or publishing about it, or you're learning about it. It could also be that you need to look at your health and your diet at this time to support you. Perhaps you're a student. So look at all of those aspects as well to support yourself with whatever it is that you're doing. Then in the 10th house, we have, this is the house of career, which is it's also your fame, your reputation, and your public status. So your public status is, for instance, if you're single, or you're divorced, or you're married, or you're an employer, or you're an employee, that is public status. Or you may be famous in some way, or you may be a government official, or whatever. So it's all about that. It's also the house of authority figures. So this could be somebody in your personal life. It could be a father or a relative or somebody in your life, a male figure, or it could be a female figure, or it could be just somebody like a guru or somebody you look up to in your career or somebody you admire in general. So it's also authoritative institutions come in with the 10th house. So with this Venus love card coming in, it really is, if you're contemplating something, or perhaps you're changing your career, or you're contemplating something, it's saying to you, you must love what you do. You must be passionate about it, okay? So your ambition and your goals are very much tied with the 10th house. So you must be passionate about it. It's also, this Venus card covers all things beautiful, all right? So the arts, everything to do with the arts falls under Venus. So this could be a career choice for you at this time. Everything to do with the arts, whatever it may be, whether it's painting, writing, poetry, acting, any kind of artistic endeavor. It can also be about fashion and symmetry, designing beautiful things, anything beautiful, or the creation of it. It can also be about the fashion industry, as I said. But it can also be an interest of yours. It can also be about food and everything to do with that. Luxury items and luxury. Perhaps you're creating luxury items, or you just enjoy them. Or it could be that you have, you want to perhaps have a shop which deals with lovely romantic things, flowers, ornaments, paintings, whatever it may be. The air of romance is very strong with this card. So it's got all those beautiful artistic aspects about it. That may be something that you're looking at this time. But it also is, this card very much is about the love of beauty, all right? And it could also be about charm. Perhaps you are needing to bring your charm in to situations that you're dealing with in your career at this time. It's very much the card of refinement. So you could be refining things in your 10th house, or you are looking up to somebody who embodies this romantic energy, this charming energy, this air of refinement. They may be a beautiful person that you admire, and so on. This card can also be about the law, the courts, and about fairness as well. It's also about negotiation and mediation. And you can bring in your charming aspects to smooth the waters, to actually overcome any conflict at this time. It's about balance. You could also be attracting abundance at this time into your 10th house. You could be drawing it to you, which, if you're going about these changes that are in the cards for you, then you could very well be doing that, you know. It's also very much the card of diplomacy at this time, which you may be required to bring into your 10th house right now. 11th house is the house of your friendships. It's the house of your personal hopes and dreams and your hobbies and interests. It's also the house of group activities of all kinds. It's also the house of your contacts and your networks. It's also about being able to track trends in society, whether it's a fashion trend or any other kind of trend, a social trend, and global consciousness, social reform, anything to do with that. So now, void of course, moon missing. During the course of this month, it may not be the whole month. It could be a period during the course of the month. It's not normally going to be a hugely long period of time, but you'll have to just see how the energies are going. But it's just saying to you, when the moon passes from one sign to another, it goes sort of through a dark phase where you're not getting the rays of the moon to highlight things. So things are not what they seem at the moment with this. So what it's saying to you is, during this period, is just to stay as you are, not to put too much energy into new actions or new things or plans that you want to launch now. Just stay as you are for now. Stay in your normal routines, because things are not clear and things are not what they seem. And if you do try to launch or take action on something, whatever action you're putting in, it could just be a wasted effort or a waste of time, because it's not the right time to be doing that at this point. So just stay as you are. Carry on as you are for the moment until the energies have shifted, and then you can see a bit better where you need to be and what you need to do. It's almost like a wasted effort. So you kind of, you don't want to be wasting your time or your money on things that's just not going to work. So they either won't work, or you'll get no result, or the wrong result, or there'll be like delays or cancellations, or it will just come to nothing at the end. So stay as you are in this house. This is very much at this time. This card is really about meditation. So any spiritual practice, any meditative practice will be very, very good for you at this time. So it's a time of resting, sleeping, dreaming, planning. It's about planning so that when the energies do shift, you are ready then to launch yourself at whatever it is that you were thinking about. And then you will have what you need to move forward. But it's a time of contemplation with this card around waiting for the energies to shift, and then you can move forward. And following on from that is the 12th house. It's got a similar kind of energy. 12th house is the house of your unconscious. So this rules a great part of our lives. It's your hidden drives, your motivations, what's going on underneath the surface. It's also the house of retreat and withdrawal, contemplation again, reflection. It's the house of your spiritual life, your meditative life, your mysticism, and your healing, however that is for you. It's also about the house of service to others. So healing professions or any kind of profession where you are in service to others often fall under the 12th house. It can also be about escapism, which is fine in small doses and when you really need it, but when it becomes a habit or a mindset, then it leads to addictions of all kinds, which can fall under the 12th house. It's also the house of karmic lessons and everything to do with that. And it's also your experiences in institutions of all kinds. So whether that's like a university or a library or a gallery or a government institution or a hospital or a prison, anything to do with that, any kind of institution, all falls under the 12th house, your experiences in there. So now with 12th house, with Mercury retrograde reinvention, anything with a re in it falls under this card. So when Mercury is the thinking card, it's the messenger card, it's the intellect card. When it goes retrograde, it can have an effect where it has a sort of it's a back to the drawing board kind of energy. So again, this is not a time, it may be a week or so during the month, or it may be longer, where it's not a time to be launching or taking new actions on things, because they probably won't work, all right? But what it is a time for is the contemplation. So go back to the drawing board, look at your plan or whatever it is that you were trying to do in this house. Look at it again, because the chances of you picking up mistakes or errors or creating something better are going to be very, very high. So whatever it is you were trying to do needs to be revised, all right? So anything with a re in front. So it's about reflection, review, release, refine, revise. Go over it again and again and again until it's better, and then it will be the best once you've got through that process. Communications may be off. So communications may be misdirected. You might be misunderstood by people around you. Something you will say just won't be taken up correctly, or you'll send an email and it won't get delivered, or it will get lost. There could be cancellations, there could be delays, mistakes could be made, and so on. Wrong choices. You could purchase something and then find it doesn't work. You have to take it back again. That kind of energy. So it's a really great time to meditate and to contemplate and to revise what you're doing, okay? Because, it's not a great time to be signing contracts and dealing with documents while this energy is in play. As I said, it may not be the whole month, but you will know when it's in play, because something you say or an email you send or something you do or a document you're looking at, you could look at it and not pick up an error. Somebody else will look at it and go, oh no, look, there's a big mistake. And then, so it's really about that. It's a great time to contemplate and revise what it is that you're doing or wanting to do at this time. And that could be, as I said, anything in the 12th house is applicable. It's also very much about technology, this card. So technology may not function as well as it should. So you buy a new cell phone, it doesn't work, you have to take it back. Or it does weird things. You may need to back up everything, especially if you're using that, a lot. In whatever anything to do with the 12th house, you may just have technological issues with this. So back things up and be prepared during this period. It could also be that somebody is coming back to you. So somebody from the past could be coming back into your life. And that came up before as well. So somebody that you've known before could be coming back and you reconnect with them in some way. And that can very often happen. Or a situation may come back to you as well to be dealt with or to help you in some way. Okay, Cancer, hope you enjoyed that. Have a great month. Please don't forget to like and share or like and subscribe. Take care, and I will see you next time.